So going through the navigator, after you've done that, choose your path, and you see there it says yourself or another member. The another member only relates to somebody wanting printed materials. You can't choose an online path for somebody else. You can only choose that for yourself. But if it's somebody who doesn't have access to the internet or the computer, or isn't comfortable using it, or simply doesn't want anything to do with it, then yes, you can choose their path for them. Okay, base camp, as I mentioned, that is where it all happens. Once rollout happens in the last of the Toastmasters World, which is supposed to be in June, everybody's going to have another 2 years to work in the traditional program or Pathways, or both simultaneously. So those who had Pathways rolled out first in January of 2017, they've got like about 3.5 years of transitional period. We've got a little bit more than 2 years, because right now we're in, well, almost in April. May 3rd is when we're supposed to get it, so we'll have all of May, all of June, plus 2 years. Now that period of time, if you are close to achieving something, I would suggest by all means do it. You've put a lot of effort and work into it already, and time. Get the benefits, get that recognition. Go the rest of the way, get your DTM under the traditional program. Take it through, because you've got 2 years to do it. Now there is one thing, 2 years is a long time, but there is one thing that might be a little bit of a crunch, and that is for Advanced Leadership Silver. One of the things that you need to do is you need to have a district office, a 12-month period of serving in a district office, which is either an area director, a division director, a member of the trio, the district director, community club growth director, and program quality director, or one or two of the other district offices, but there's a limited number of them. So let's say there's 80 positions that will qualify for Advanced Leadership Silver, and let's say there's 85 or 90 people who want to get their DTM under the existing traditional program. That means there's going to be some disappointed people. If you are one of those who want to get DTM, if you are well on the path to get DTM under the traditional program and you haven't yet had your district service, don't delay. Make sure you get your name in there really, really quick so that you're not going to be disappointed. I don't know how many people are in that position. There maybe are enough of those roles available, or maybe there aren't. I don't know. All I know is if you need it and you want to get your DTM under the traditional, grab it while the grabbing's good. Yes, Peter?
In order to get your DTM, you must be a club sponsor or a club mentor as well. Besides, like Xenia is a area director, she will have her credits at the end of this year. But in addition to getting your DTM, you need to serve as a club mentor or a club sponsor, and there's 2 club sponsors for every club and 2 club mentors.
If that does, thank you, Peter. If that does describe you, that you want to have one of those roles as well, you can go to the dashboard. Does everybody know how to get to the dashboard? If anybody doesn't, you go to the home page, click on Club Leadership. Even if you're not a club leader, just click on Club Leadership, and then one of the menus there is going to be Dashboard. Click on the dashboard, or District Performance Reports. Click on that, and then you can go to District 99, which is us. Go to Daily Reports, and you'll see one of the selections there will be clubs meeting coaches. Click on that, and then you'll see which clubs qualify to have a coach. Only clubs who have fewer than 13 members can qualify to have a coach that will be recognized for that role.
And you cannot be a coach of your own club.
Correct. You can join a club after becoming its coach, but if you're already a member, you cannot become its coach. And on that same topic, there's not very much that transfers from the traditional program into the Pathways program, but the club coaching, mentoring, and sponsoring does. They will transfer into the new program. So if you've already got some of that, like you've got a coach or a mentor or a sponsor situation already on your record that you haven't yet used, there's nothing wrong with getting more, because they will be able to be applied in the pathway system as well. Well, it's on that topic. I think there's the serving as a club officer will also transfer. And I think that's maybe the only two things.
HPL?
No, that does not transfer. Under the pathway system, it's similar, but it's not called an HPL. I don't think it's called HPL, but it does need to be more unique. And I think it needs to be related specifically to the path that you just went through, where you have accomplished. Yeah, I think it has a different name. I don't quite remember what that is.
Lorenzo, I have a quick question.
Yes.
How will the actual process of transferring occur? Will it be automatic? For example, I have finished the competent communicator, I'm almost advanced leader. I'm advanced leader silver and working towards a couple of other designations. So will it just automatically roll over into my base camp, or I would have to go in manually and include my designations and speeches that I have completed?
Neither. The current profile system and the base camp system they're not compatible. They do not talk to one another at all. So if you are going to work in both systems at the same time, which is fine, then whatever you do under the traditional system will be recorded on that system. Whatever you do under Pathways will be recorded there. Now the club coaching, mentoring, or sponsoring, they will, and I don't know because it's probably not yet been dealt with, but they will need to have a way of Pathways accessing the fact that you got that on your record, that you got that credit having coach, mentored, or sponsored. But the CC or the advanced communication, that remains in your current traditional system profile. And once 2 years have gone by, once June 30th, year 2020 passes, I believe you'll still have the profile to look at, but there'll be no further updates to it.
So just, I understand correctly, when the pathways are introduced and I log in and I start my process in the pathways, and as well as other people, they start at ground zero.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Pathways, everybody starts at the same level.
Irrespective of their experience in Toastmasters.
No matter what you've done in the past, you're all, everybody, Peter, myself, you, and the brand new member that walks through the door, we're all on an equal footing.
Okay.
We all start at level 1 on whichever path we choose.
And then do we have to repeat all of those?
Well, they're different. You're not repeating anything. They're different.
If I just want to clarify, we still have 2 years to complete the old program.
Yeah.
I understand that.
yeah.
My concern here, and maybe I'll start with a concern versus trying to get the solution, is that I haven't seen the pathways yet. My concern is duplication and repetitiveness of the pathway process or pathway speeches. So for example, for level 1, I saw icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean everybody now needs to complete an icebreaker?
Mm-hmm.
Even though we have completed an icebreaker before? So that's where my concern is, in redoing things that have already been done. So that means that's the expectation.
But on that note, if I'm going for my second DTM, I would do the icebreaker again under the current system. I would again, if I'm going through my second or third.
Absolutely.
And so Pathways is similar in that way. We pick a path starting at 0. The only difference is under the current system, and just correct me if I'm wrong, we only have one path to get to the same DTM every time. Pathway opens up a selection of 10 different ways, so we can start a new path.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I appreciate that. It's just I don't like inefficiencies and I don't like repeating things.
Each path will
that's
have
not working.
an icebreaker.
Yeah. So it's
But the
just more
icebreaker protocol or instruction or path or whatever you want to call it, guide, each, like under the pathways, is going to be a little bit different. I mean, it's not going to be the same
I get it.
guideline for an icebreaker. It's going to be different.
Okay,
And
so
anybody
maybe-
who starts as a brand new path or as a brand new Toastmaster right now, if they, because they started as a brand new Toastmaster, maybe they don't even want to look at it, even though they can. They might not even want to look at the traditional, and they can do their icebreaker under the pathway system, and they won't be able to record it for credit until they have registered their path after it's been released here. But they can do it that way right now. However, personally, and this is just my personal recommendation, I would still, no matter what, anybody who is a new member before it's released here, or Pathways, or, yeah, Pathways is released here, they can get the credit for it, and even if they join after and they can't get credit for a competent communicator, personally, I think that going through the Competent Communicator Manual is a fantastic experience, because all of those projects, those 10 projects, are the foundation for effective presentations. So whether you get credit or not, if you go back to the 10 paths, there's the one that I looked at that had just the 2 competencies, presentation mastery, I believe it was. That will probably take you through those things as well, those 10 basics of effective communication, but I don't think the others will. And I think that effective communications are so important. Being able to give a speech effectively is so important that even though you might have your overall interest might be one of the other paths, I think that it's well worth it to go through those 10 projects so you can be an effective communicator, an effective presenter. Make sense? Did your concern get addressed?
I think where my confusion is in the terminology, that I immediately saw the icebreaker and thought, okay, am I repeating it 5 times and have I
Yeah, I
ever
thought
done
the
it?
same thing at first.
So just wanted to clarify, it sounds like the icebreaker is just the term for an introductory speech
Yeah,
in the pathway. And the format of it would change depending on the pathway.
And that's probably the only description that you're going to see that's in both, the icebreaker description.